Hey Nesters, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing with you the haul to the Christian school rummage sale I went to. And this day I went to quite a few sales, so you guys have been seeing all of the shop along with me's. I didn't know how best to do it, so hopefully you guys like the order of me showing you the little vlogs throughout the day and then me showing you the hauls after. Let me know if that's working for you or if there's any other ideas you guys have if you would prefer something different. But, you know, I do have two little kids, so this kind of is what works best for me to do it this way. And this sale, now the tricky thing about yard sailing, right, is you compile your list of the sales that you are able to go to that day, and the hardest part is deciding which one to go to first. We totally lucked out. You guys saw the footage, so you know we definitely chose the right one to go to first, and there wasn't even a whole lot of, you know, thought behind it, so we really ultimately lucked out there. But if we really thought about it, this school is a Christian school, so they are K through high school, right? Like 12th grade. So they obviously were going to have more donations. Duh. So if you guys find yourself in a similar situation, definitely hit up the Christian schools. They have a lot of stuff. So I'll go ahead and start with the first things I picked up. I thought these were kind of neat. These are handmade ceramic or hand-painted ceramic toucans from Ecuador, and they were $1 for the set of them, and they are marked on the bottom. They are handmade in Ecuador. I think I will probably list these for $25 plus whatever the shipping's gonna be, and I think that's a pretty fair price. So, you know, there's kind of nice folk art, and I think they're really cute. Hopefully someone will enjoy these. So when I first walked in, there was a huge crowd and everyone beelined it right to this side, right? So I have social anxiety. I've suffered with it for most of my life, since my teens. And so my natural reaction is to go the opposite way of the people, right? And luckily, since I went this way, the first thing I saw was this red Pyrex Friggy. I was super happy to get that. They had it marked $3, and it's in pretty decent shape. It's not mint. It does have a little bit of wear to it, but I think I might be able to shine it up to a point where it might possibly look mint. So pretty good overall, and no chipping as far as I could see. I'll be keeping this. I do collect Pyrex, and I'll probably just store it up there, but I was definitely happy to get that. So I believe the next area I went to when I continued to walk down was they're like stadium seats, bleachers, I guess, and they had pictures all over them. I'm not sure how we were supposed to get to the ones way up. It was very tiered and kind of set up weird, but I saw this older gentleman standing like, you know, here, and then I saw these guys like right just before him, so I kind of just like scooched myself in there, grabbed these real quick. If you guys saw the video, it was kind of hilarious. I didn't even realize how quick everyone was grabbing stuff there, but I went in, I took these, and then as soon as I picked these up, whatever these were setting on top, the lady snatched that, right? And then the old man like grabbed something else. I was like, I didn't even notice it at the time, but it was kind of funny when I was editing that. But yeah, you guys know I definitely wanted these when I saw them. They are these floral cross stitches here, and super gorgeous. They had them for 50 cents a piece, so definitely was not leaving those behind. I was happy I was able to fight the crowd and get those. So I was walking around, and then I was coming back around to the area where everyone was originally to try to get through there. And I saw this man was looking through a box of plates, and I was trying to be respectful, and I saw this one, right? And as soon as I saw it, I wanted it, but I was waiting to see, he put his hands on it, and I was waiting to see if he was going to take it, because, I mean, I'm not going to fight over stuff, right? But he was pulling out plates, and he had put his hands on this, but he didn't take that one, so I saw my opportunity, and I snagged it real quick, and so I was happy to get this. This was only, I think it was $1 for the plates in that box, so it doesn't have any kind of backing on it for to use for a decor plate, so I think I'm gonna pick up a tab for it to do so. But yeah, I really like deer, and I definitely was happy I was able to get that, and the guy didn't want it. And then they had this enormous, terrifying box of mugs on the ground. I think they were 25 cents a piece, and I didn't dare to root through the box, honestly. There were so many people just, you know, running back and forth. People were bumping into my back, and it was just a nightmare. So I really didn't want to, you know, break any of the mugs. So I just kind of glanced at the ones that were surfacing the top. I did see this kitty cat one here, and I really liked that the tail came out here on the handle. It doesn't have any maker or anything on it, but it's a cat. I know people like cats, so I did pick this one up to resell. And then I thought these were kind of interesting. I think it says Johnson on the bottom here. I don't know if they are handmade or if that's a company that made it, but they are pretty neat, I thought. Very outdoorsy, and I thought a guy would really enjoy this set. So I picked them up for, you know, 50 cents. They definitely have that handmade look to them. The rims are a little bit misshapen and everything, but I really like the rustic feel to them, and I'm sure someone else is going to enjoy these as well. So they had this green sugar container sitting there, and they had 50 cents marked on it. They still had the little sugar packets in it. That doesn't really interest me, it kind of creeps me out, so I'll probably toss those. But this seemed to be in good condition. There's no markings on this either, so I don't really know where it's from, but I like green, so likely I'll just hang on to this myself. So I saw this blue spear bowl here, and it does hang up on this rope. They only asked 50 cents for it, and I'm just gonna keep this and put in with my glassware up on my shelf above my window. Because I don't have a lot of blue, I don't come across it too often. This is a more modern piece, and you know, it's not vintage, but I still really liked it. And yes, I know I say modern like the way I like to say it, right? This is how we say it in Maine, or at least in my area. I believe other people say it this way. We add AH where ours are, and then we put ours where ours shouldn't be. You know, we just have Maine accents, and even throughout the state of Maine, everyone in different regions talk differently. It's a big state. But a lot of people have been leaving me some rather nasty comments actually about how I speak and say modern instead of modern, and I just don't like how modern, I don't like the way it sounds. It sounds kind of, just doesn't set well on my tongue, right? And I say pattern instead of pattern. I just don't like the way it sounds, honestly. It sounds weird to me the way you guys say it, and I guess the way I say it sounds weird to you, but we're all different, right? And I think for the most part people can understand each other, so hopefully you guys can give me some grace and understand I do have an accent living up here in the woods of Maine. I thought this canister was really nice. Obviously I liked the vintage teal color, right? And it's in great condition. They only had $3 on it, and it is technically vintage by Etsy standards. It's actually from 1998, put out by Cracker Barrel. I know there is I guess it's a restaurant or something. I've never been to it. We don't have them here in Maine that I know of. And when I see Cracker Barrel, I just think of cheese, honestly. But I don't know if it's a store as well, or if it's just a restaurant. I'm not familiar with the brand other than the cheese, but I really, you know, couldn't pass that up. It's a nice large canister in teal, so I thought that was a great score. So there was a box on the floor after I had started walking down through the linen section, and they had a bunch of cross-stitch, like, needlework kits, and there were, you know, people walking back and forth behind me and just all around me, and it's pretty chaotic for me with having social anxiety to be in that big of a area with that many people just coming at me. But anyways, I was trying to, you know, glance through them, and I found one I really liked, and it was this beautiful scene of the mountains, and there was 2 boxes, so I was trying to go through them, and I didn't have much room really to set it in front of me, so I kind of set it on the box, you know, right beside me, and I was going through them. And I should have knew better. I should have just, you know, held it somehow. But as I was going through this pile, you can see in my thrift with me, that rummage with me, you can see a lady grab it. I was so bummed. I almost said something, but I was just like, you know what, if she wants it, I'm not gonna, you know, freak out about it. So I picked up a couple that I liked. I thought this one was really nice here with the birds. I really like bird items, and this one has lots of colorful ones on it. And when I looked through the cross-stitch kits, I kind of just try to imagine if I would put it on my wall for art decor. There was, you know, lots there, but I'm just kind of trying to imagine, you know, yeah, it's cute, but would, you know, a person really decorate with it? And this, I felt like people would. And then this one I think is really gorgeous as well. I really love florals, so I got that one. Those are the only two I picked up. I believe they're $1 a piece, and hindsight, I probably would have got a few more, but I was just, you know, having anxiety about all the people like surrounding me, so I got out of there. And maybe if I come across them in the future with not so many people around, I can pick up more. I also found this really interesting bird outdoor gadget. I don't know what you call it. Whirligig. It's not a whirligig. What is it? This is a whirligig, right? I don't know what it's called, but I really liked it. They had it marked 50 cents. It does hang on a spring, so you can hang it from the tree, and when the wind blows, it looks like it's flying. I just thought it was the neatest thing. I'll be keeping this and just putting it out in my yard, but I really liked that, and I thought that was a pretty nice score there as well. You guys know that I have this thing for trivets. I don't know what it is, but you know, especially if they're kitschy, and this one was just too cute that I didn't feel like leaving it behind. So I got this. It was only, what, 50 cents, and just super adorable, right? It doesn't have the hook on it that normally would have been on there, but it does have all 4 leg stands, which is really all you need. You can kind of just lean it up, you know, on the top of your stove, like up against the wall or something for decor, or on a shelf or something. But yeah, I thought this was just super cute, so I have a thing for trivets, I don't know. Another thing that I'm always picking up is recipe boxes, right? This one is more of a cardboard style one, but they only asked 50 cents for it. It is hinged with metal hinges, which was kind of interesting, you know, being cardboard. And it says it's from Cape Shore, made in the USA. Not super familiar with that, so I don't know the age of it, but I really liked it because it had the blueberries on it, and you know, Maine blueberries is a big crop here. So what I think I'm gonna do with this is as I collect recipes, like Maine specific recipes, you know, baked beans, lobster, whatever like that, and I think I just want to keep the Maine recipes in this box. I think that would be pretty neat to do. That way my kids can have them in the future if we ever move out of state permanently. We are considering that. We always think we're gonna have a home here for the summer, but we are considering, you know, moving to warmer weather where we don't have winter 8 months of the year. So, you know, I just think it'd be nice to have a little collection of Maine recipes, little piece of home with us. I think this is actually one of the first things I saw as well. I think it was by the Pyrex Fridgie, and it's this really nice souvenir tin of Washington, D.C. I'm pretty sure it's quite old, and they only asked $2 for it, which I think is reasonable. I like to decorate with these. I actually recently sold a Nashville one, which I really wanted to keep, but I didn't. I sold it, and I think I'm gonna hang on to this one because I am doing a United States kind of wall up on my loft. In my house, I live in a salt box house, and we have kind of this catwalk wall here, so it's like a really high ceiling here, and then there's a catwalk, and there's this huge wall above me here that I never know what to do with. So what I've done is put a large map of the United States up there, have a shelf under it that I'm trying to figure out how to decorate, and then I kind of was thinking about putting license plates from various states, and then maybe stuff like this kind of around the wall. Just kind of do an interesting United States traveling kind of gallery wall, I guess. So yeah, I'll just add this to my collection. So I was happy to get this. So they did have a ton of clothing there, and I was excited when I looked over because they had papers in front of the tables where it was marked out in sizes, and normally I can't find much of anything for my boys, and it appeared that they had lots of boy clothing, so I got excited, and then I went over, and I think it was only about 10 minutes before I, you know, was able to get to the clothing, and they were not in the sizes that the paper said, so I was still having a struggle of my life over there. I was trying to find 5T pants for my 3-year-old, and then I briefly looked at the 18-month stuff, but I didn't. I was over it because I could see the stuff was all mixed again, and it's just too overwhelming for me to look through giant piles like that. So ultimately, I only found one pair of pants here. These were I think it said 4 to 5, and I thought these are pretty nice. I do prefer the elastic waist ones. My 3-year-old, we potty trained them, you know, like 6 months ago, but, you know, it's still easier for him if he has elastic, you know, pants to avoid accidents. Buttons and zippers are just a little difficult for freshly potty trained kids, I think, so we try to stick with those. I did get a few linens. I saw a few vintage cross-stitch embroidery ones over there. This is a little bureau scarf, I would imagine, or stand scarf. And this one was only marked 50 cents. It has some really nice blue detailing to it. Blue is one of my favorite colors, so I definitely like that one. And then they also had this one. It does have a few stains on it, but it was only 50 cents, and it was just too gorgeous to pass up. So someone had mentioned trying putting some lemon juice on them and then setting it out in the sun. I guess that's the old way of doing it. So I will try that once it's, you know, sunny enough to try it. We haven't had the best luck with sun here lately, but there's a few stains on it here, but super gorgeous. This is quite a bit larger than that other one, I think. It's about that long. There's several stains on this. It's quite dirty, but it's just hard to leave stuff like that behind for me. I really enjoy vintage linen, so I decided to get that. This I didn't grab. I mean, I guess I technically did, but when I was going through that and then I was kind of stacking them and then I picked it up, I didn't mean to get this, but I'm the proud owner of this now. I wouldn't have got that. And then I also grabbed this quilt here. This is an I Spy quilt, and it has, you know, if you're unfamiliar with I Spy, it just has all different patterns on it, and you can kind of essentially Where's Waldo it, right? Ask, hey, do you see this? Do you see this? So yeah, there's lots of different, I don't know if I'd be able to show it all to you, but there's lots of different patterns on it throughout it. I need to check over the quality of it to see if I'm going to sell it on Etsy. I didn't have the chance to really thoroughly look and make sure there was no tears and holes and whatnot in it. They were only asking $3 for it, and for the most part, as far as I can see, it appears to be in really nice shape, so it's very difficult to show. But I would say it's a little bit larger. It might be for a twin bed. It might be a little smaller than a twin bed. But yeah, lots and lots of patterns on it. I Spy blankets like this, quilts, are very cool. I think they sell anywhere between 35 to 65 range. So like I said, I gotta look it over and then make a decision on that, whether I'm gonna sell it online or in my antique booth. But I was happy to find that for sure. So surprisingly, my kids only walked out with a couple of toys. We got this thing here. They have since played with us, so I can only collect what I could find. But it's this thing here, and it had, I think it only came with 3 of the balls, and you just hammer them down, and then it kind of goes like this and comes out. They're boys, and it's a perfect toy for them because they like to do stuff like that. And then I did find a bag of toys that were Imaginext. My 3-year-old loves to play with Imaginext. I found a couple of the guys. I think these are the ones he got. They were a couple knights, and then there was a horse in there, and I think there was a couple of Paw Patrol figures. I think they charged, it was either 50 cents or $1 for that, but yeah, we try to collect all the Imaginext guys for him, so anytime we see him in the yard sale, we definitely try to pick those up for him, and he really enjoys playing with those. So there is one other thing that I picked up that I'm not going to share in this haul. If you watch the Rummage along with me, you probably know what it is anyways, but every July, I host a open collab with other YouTubers. I invite other YouTubers to join in with me, and then I make a playlist of everyone's hauls. We do a Christmas in July, I call it Thriftmas in July collab. I plan to do it again this year, so I'm starting about now saving all the Christmas items that I pick up at rummage sales, yard sales, and thrift stores to share in a epic haul come towards the end of July. I believe I'm going to do a date of July 30th this year, and then I'm going to post my stuff on Etsy, my Christmas items on Etsy right after, so I think that'll work out okay. And yeah, so if you're a YouTuber, you know, maybe start now. I haven't done my official open invite. I'll probably do that in June, but yeah, if you watch this and you are a YouTuber and you want to join in on that, I can link the last year's playlist below so you can kind of get an idea of what all is involved. It's basically just sharing your Christmas items you found, right? Just a little Christmas haul, but yeah, you guys can definitely join in. And that is going to do it for this haul. I do have plenty other hauls to share with you, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed so you can catch the next rummage sale haul, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!